Okay, out here with the tractor today, with the John Deere. We're just doing a little yearly maintenance. A couple of weeks ago I did the oil and fuel filters on this thing, and today I'm doing the hydraulic system. And I'm replacing the seat. You can see this seat is trashed. The base is cracked down there by those two bolts. It flops pretty bad. I was going to replace it last spring, but I didn't want the tractor to sit out all winter with the, with a new seat uncovered and have it get wrecked like this one is. And then I'm also going to replace the rock shaft housing seal in here. It's got a slow leak, and I've been putting it off for a while. I figure since I'm draining the hydraulic system and pulling the seat out today, I may as well pop a few more bolts and get the rock shaft housing out. One thing I'm doing is I'm switching hydraulic oil. I've been running a regular John Deere High Guard in this thing, and it's been working okay, but the problem is in the winter, it just takes way too long to get up to operating temperature, because I even bought this little 300 watt magnetic heater to throw down there on the bottom of the sump, and I mean, some days it's not too bad, but when we get a stretch of single digit weather or a couple of below zero days, the regular High Guard just takes absolutely forever to get warmed up and thinned out enough that you can do something with it. So I'm going to the John Deere low viscosity High Guard because it is rated for a temp range of 40 below to 86 above Fahrenheit. So we don't normally get much above 90 very often out here, so we should be pretty good as far as that goes. In the meantime, I'm going to find some way to set you up and try to do a time lapse of this, maybe. I'll do something. I'll do something. Stick with me. We'll get you set up here somewhere in a second. So on the tractor, on the 5320 here, I did not film the actual removing of the rock shaft. It's the rock shaft housing assembly is over here now because I was short on time and really trying to push to get it done. But I'll show you where we are now and what we found. This is underneath the transmission cover. These are your shift forks here and here. This is underneath the rock shaft housing. This is your ring and pinion. Oopsie, I should aim the phone or camera or yeah, anyway. Ring and pinion, PTO drive. The PTO drive you can see maybe. Well, anyway, the PTO drive shaft is here. The PTO is here. It uses a gear setup to step that down to 540. This is the differential lock mechanism. When you step on the pedal up here, it pushes down on this arm. This arm rotates on a little cam here and pushes this over to lock. I know it's hard to see, but there's a little collar down there that locks together to lock the differential. So one thing I found, and I knew there would be a few metal flakes, but I did not expect this. I pulled out the suction screen. The suction screen goes in this hole here. It's got a little cover over it. And this is where all your hydraulic fluid goes through this screen on the way to the pump. And here's the screen, and I hope this is showing up, but it is filled, I mean absolutely packed with metal flakes, and I didn't really pick up much on my finger there, but you can see it's all that shiny silver stuff should not be there. So that is a problem. Now here's my theory on what's going on. Your hydraulic system, your transmission, your brakes, and your steering all use the same fluid, and it all comes out of the same sump. The fluid for your hydraulic system is picked up by this suction screen down at the bottom of this reservoir, and it is pulled through a series of pipes up to the pump mounted on the side of the engine. The engine, or the pump, sends it back where it is supplied to the rock shaft through this tube. Once it gets into the rock shaft through this fitting, there's a cylinder inside this housing that lifts and lowers the 3-point hitch. And then over here, this is your selective control valve assembly. This is what you would use for your two rear selective control valves, or actually that would be these two levers, your rear selective control valves and your loader control valve. Now after it goes through all those valves and activates whatever function it's going to activate, it comes back to the sump here through this spin-on filter, or more accurately this spin-on filter, because this is the old one that came out. So my theory is this fluid, or this, boy, I am not firing on all 8 tonight. These metal flakes are not related to the hydraulic system at all. And the reason I think that is because the differential lock here doesn't work. It hasn't worked since I bought this tractor in 2012. It's 2016 now, and this tractor, before I bought it, had a couple of reasonably significant issues. It had to be split at the dealer and have some stuff done. But this differential lock doesn't work. That's one of the things I want to fix while I've got it apart. But what I'm thinking is that the metal flakes are from attempting to engage the differential lock, and it would not fully engage and it would grind, and I'm thinking and hoping that is why I have so many large metal flakes on this suction screen here. Now the one thing I'm going to do kind of make sure that's the whole problem is I'm going to take this old spin-on filter, not in this part of the video, but I'm going to take this old spin-on filter and cut it open and see what, if anything, is in there. If it's clean or reasonably clean, then I'm going to go ahead and stick with my diagnosis that this is all because of the differential lock problem. If I open the spin-on filter up and find more metal shavings, then I know there's an actual problem somewhere else in the hydraulic system that is going to have to be addressed. But for the record, when I pulled the tractor in here, it was operating just fine and had no issues other than the leaking gasket. Well, there is no gasket, but the leak here at the back of the transmission cover, front of the rock shaft housing, and just generally being due for a hydraulic service. So that's where we are. Now that I've torn it this far down, though, this project, like most projects, has expanded, as you can tell from the pile of parts here. My old seat was garbage, so it's getting replaced with this universal tractor seat, which actually looks like the same thing that came off. Fuel gauge didn't work. I've narrowed that down. That's a bad sending unit, so it's getting a new sending unit. One of the rear quick couplers for the hydraulic lines was leaking, so that's getting replaced. The rock shaft is getting resealed where it goes on the tractor. The lift arms, I'm actually going to pull those off. I've bought new seals for those that are going in because, you know, I'm in it this far. I may as well fix everything that I can fix while I'm in here. So I did a time lapse on this one. I'm not sure exactly how it turned out. I'm afraid it's going to be way too fast, but we'll see. I'm going to put this at the end of the first time lapse video, and in the next video coming up, we're going to pick up cleaning this suction screen and sealing everything and getting into the differential lock and putting everything back together. So if you're not subscribed, please do, so you make sure you see all that stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching.